Hey gang, market update time coming to you from very early in the morning. Still dark outside, but you fit things in when you can, and this is when I have time for this. So I'm excited to share this information with you guys because there's actually a lot to talk about in the Denver real estate market. There's a ton going on right now. It kind of came out of nowhere, seemingly. So really excited to dig into it and give you an idea what's going on. We will do that. We'll take a look at the stats here in just a second. And of course, as you guys always know, I always say, if this is helpful for you at all, I would love you to subscribe to this channel and kind of come along on this journey with me. So without further ado, here we go. So this is the graph I always kind of start with. And this is going to show us, especially these blue lines and this black line, kind of what's going on. But before we begin, TLDR. I've been talking to you guys for months about inventories rising. The market is favoring buyers. Homes are staying on the market longer. Things are going better. It's affected by interest rates, but overall, it's a much healthier, more balanced market and one that favors buyers more. That has changed. Our spring market is here. Okay, so I'm recording this February 1st. This is going out February. And this is the February update, and the spring market started in January, which has happened the last few years. We weren't sure if it would happen this year or not, but here we are, and it's basically a couple things. There are two main dates that kind of float that dictate when the spring market begins, and they are both based on football. Okay, so the first one, and this all comes from Megan Aller, who's the title rep and the stats genius. The first one is when the Broncos season is over. So when the Broncos are terrible, like they were this year, the real estate market picks up earlier. Strange, but true. The second one is the Super Bowl. Super Bowl happens this weekend. So we've already seen a big bump in activity based on the Broncos being awful. And the Super Bowl is about to be, sorry, not this weekend, next weekend. We have a week off. Pro Bowl, fun. Pro Bowl has no bearing on the real estate market. But in about a week and a half from when I'm posting this, we should see another bump. So right here, let's go back to the stats page. And basically that's what's going on. So the spring market is here, and the market favoring buyers, I'm not going to say has gone away, but there's a lot more activity out there, and it's a lot stiffer. And if you're a seller, it's actually really good news. We don't know how long it's going to last or what's going to happen, but here's what's going on. And I want you to look at this black line especially. I'm going to grab my little draw thing. This black line here, you see 3.4. So this is our months of inventory. If you guys have watched these before, you know that's how we sort of measure how many homes are on the market. 6 months would be a completely balanced market between buyers and sellers. 6 months of inventory. We never have 6 months. 3 to 4 months is more typical for a Denver market, depending on seasonality. You'll see right around Christmas, we were up at 3.4 months of inventory. And before that, it had steadily risen to 2 and well over 2. Because of the year-end purge of active listings, a lot of listings expire on December 31st. This number really took a dive, and to the point where we're at 1.1 months of active inventory, meaning Christmas weekend to now, a third of the homes on the market. That's creating an inventory squeeze, and that's part of the reason for this shift, small seasonal shift rather than a big shift like the last one we had in the real estate market. That, and there are more buyers out. All those people who said, I'm going to wait till after the new year, they actually meant it. There's more buyers out. We are back into multiple offer situations, and I'll just tell you that anecdotally. Homes that are priced right are going the first weekend again. They're not taking a few weeks, and I'll show you that too. So we're done with the drawing thing. We'll just go down to, this is odds of selling. We've talked about this before. This takes a lot of things into account. We were down at 34.9 into the 30s. We're back over 50%. That just shows that too, that the stiffening of the market and the bump for sellers, percent of units for balance. We were, we were over 50% of balance. We're down to 19% now. That's the green line. We're looking at the green line here. I know there's a lot of information on here. Showings per listing, we're up from below 1. We're back to 2.8. That's a big jump right here. That's the blue line. Again, a lot of data. And this is showings versus contracts. I don't need to go over that too much, but this is the big one. Median days on market. Okay, we saw those gradually go up here and peak at 51 days on market. A year ago, that was absolutely unheard of. And guess what? We're down to 21. That is a huge change. And that's all because of this inventory squeeze and more buyers being on the market. Okay. And I'm just running through these because we don't need to spend a ton of time on it to belabor the point, to tell you guys what's going on. So the price reductions for pending transactions. This is another one too. We were over 50%. We were well over 50% at one point of homes that went under contract that had at least one price reduction. Now we creep back down under 40%. So again, homes that are priced properly are selling fast, are selling the first weekend they're on the market right now. And homes that are presented well, staged well, all that stuff, they're going for over asking price again. Are we typically, $100,000 on every transaction over asking depending on the price point? No, it's not like it was, at least yet, in 21 and 2022. Could it get there? Maybe, but with interest rates where they are, it's unlikely to have that sort of frenzy. So the market is stiffening up, but we'll see what happens here as we move into March and April. That seems unlikely because interest rates obviously affect affordability. And so what's happened, it seems like, is interest rates have crept down. We've lost about 1% in interest rates between September and now. Okay, they were a little over 7. We're down around 6. And it seems like that helps, but 6 is a lot more than 3 and 3.5% like it was for the majority of that frenzy in 2020, 2021. Well, buyers are getting more used to that. The shock of a 6% interest rate has worn off. And so basically they're saying this is what it is. They're starting, to listen that, hey, it's going to be this way for a while. And if you need to buy a house, buy a house. So if you are a seller, here's my message to you. Now is the time. Do not wait and say, I'm going to list it in the spring, because that's when everyone else is listing too. So what's going to happen with this inventory squeeze, if we go back up to this slide where we see our inventory has just been compressed so much, as more homes come up, obviously that inventory is going to start to creep up. When it happens, if it happens in March and April, I don't know, or if it's not until July, we're not sure. Okay, but we know we're going to get a bump of activity after the Super Bowl. If you want to list your house, you want to list right now when that inventory is still low and buyers are already out. Inventory hasn't had time to catch up. If you are a seller, this is the sweet spot. This is the perfect time for you. If you thought, oh, I missed it, I could have sold my house, and now I missed it and the market's completely different, not necessarily the case. Because what we're seeing right now is different from how it was a month and a half ago. And this will stay fluid. So that's my message to you. That is your market update. That's where we are at this moment. I like to do this, look at the numbers that have happened last week. That's what we look at, this week by week rather than month by month. So if this is helpful for you guys, I'd love you to subscribe. And I got some information below. If and when you're ready to do anything, I aim to be your go-to Denver real estate resource. So there's some ways you can get in contact with me, or just start the process, or just have the conversation, because that's the big thing. Have the conversation. Here's the data. Here's what it means for everybody, but what does it mean for you? That kind of takes a one-to-one conversation. And that's what I do all day, every day, and shoot these videos. But there's no tie downs. It's not weird. Let's talk about it, and let's figure out what works best for you. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.